Hello everyone, Mark here with Mark's Max Muscle. Who else would it be? Mr. Zonk? So, long time ago I got a request for a video. It was actually during the Jay Cutler series. And I write these things down, people. I do not forget to do these videos. So it may take some time, but I do these videos for you guys. And this is, in fact, the winner of the Jay Cutler series, the 2001 Mr. Olympia version, versus 2002 Arnold Classic Jay Cutler. Now, as I started sifting through these photos, these two versions are very similar. Now, this first comparison here might as well be thrown out, because that is a very blurry picture of 2001. And these two specimens, these two versions are so similar that I think we're going to need a really clear comparison. But having said that, the lighting of 2001 I think is very flattering. But just in this picture here, a lot of the pictures of 01 are different sort of lighting. Judging by this comparison, it looks like the Arnold Classic version is a little bit larger, but the Olympia version is a little bit drier. Could be a back and forth battle. Let's dig in with another comparison. And for lack of a better term, I'll call this the German twist. Doesn't Jay look like he's a big German? So, this is a little bit more clear of a picture, but he is twisted just slightly more in the Arnold Classic version. I don't know, guys. It looks like he's more conditioned in the upper body when you look at the abs and things of that nature in the Arnold Classic. But then you look at the legs. Look at the legs. Much more feathering in the Olympia version. Ooh, this is a tough one. You can't judge these ones. Wow. Well, it's pretty much inconclusive with both of the first two comparisons, but there is plenty more to go. Plenty. Let's begin with this here front double bicep. And this pose presents yet another interesting situation. Seems to be flip-flopped. The legs of the Arnold Classic version seem to be not only the drier and more striated of the two, by far, but they seem to be much larger as well. Very interesting. So does the decision go to 02, Arnold Classic? No. Look at his left bicep. Is it just me, or is there something going on there? It seems that he has torn it or something. It's not too bad, but it definitely seems to be smaller. Let's bring up this other comparison. And less of a direct comparison, but you can get a good shot of that bicep, and yes, there is definitely something wrong with that arm. Hard to say. Even though he has better legs here, I think that symmetry, much like the Dorian Yates after he tore his pec, I can't vote for that. This is bodybuilding. You see that's bicep. This isn't too bad, but maybe a slight edge to 01 Mr. Olympia version. This is close. Let's go to another pose. Man, these are two very fantastic versions of Jay Cutler in the front lat spread, without a doubt. But this is not an exact direct comparison. I must say the lats seem to be a little bit more filled out. Could be the angle, like I said, but they do seem to be a little bit more filled out in 2001. I do seem to be leaning slightly towards the Olympia version, but then again, I do like the legs better of the Arnold Classic version. Here in this pose, it seems to be slightly inconclusive. I don't know. The abs seem to be a little bit tighter, perhaps, in the Arnold Classic version. Hard to say. It's a black and white picture, after all. But these comparisons are fun to do. These are two of the best Jay Cutlers by far, in my opinion. Let's see if we can figure anything out with the back comparisons. Yeah, it even seems to be pretty close here in the back development as well. He is posing a little bit different. Looks like he's crouching down for the Arnold Classic pick. So once again, disappointingly not a very close direct comparison. But we have to go with what we have. Seems the glutes are a little bit tighter, perhaps, with the Olympia version. The lower back definitely is. Of course, he is slouching down, so might not be fair. But like I said, we got to go with what we have. Lats seem to be a little bit more detailed too. Yes. I hate to say it, but I'm leaning towards the 01 Mr. Olympia version. But I mean, come on, people. I am definitely not set against the 2002 Arnold Classic being the better man. Especially in this picture, it's not a direct comparison. Now let us have a look at the rear double bicep shots. And I do think 2001 is slightly more conditioned in those glutes. It is worth to mention the hamstring perhaps looks a little bit more sliced and diced. Well, the left hamstring, but he's really not sticking that one out in 2001 Mr. Olympia. His overall silhouette, I have to lean slightly towards the Arnold Classic, but the hard graininess of those traps and perhaps the back development a little bit better. But the V-taper is a little bit better of Arnold Classic. I don't know. 2001 Mr. Olympia, in my opinion, is probably a slightly better version than the Arnold Classic. But let's dig up a couple more poses to perhaps one of these ones will give us more of an answer. And once again, 2002 Arnold Classic seems to be a little bit more full, a little bit more large in the muscularity region. But there seems to be a slight dryness about the Olympia version that just seems to take the cake with me. I don't know. This is a very, very close race, perhaps one of the closest ones. Of course, the Dexter Jackson final was close. But I mean, this is another level of just, you really cannot judge this one. I could easily see a lot of people saying 2002 Arnold Classic without a doubt. But I think there will be more people leaning towards the Olympia version, including myself. But there is a couple of most muscular comparisons, not direct ones, but let's have a look at them anyway. These are actually probably better comparisons. You can really see that skin and conditioning up close. And both are very good. Different in a way, but both very good. It's hard to explain. The 2002 Arnold Classic is like an electric guitar. Like you know what I mean? Like Animal. Rrr. But 2001, Mr. Olympia, look at that thin, paper-thin skin. He's like a violin. I can't really do a violin. No. Well, he wouldn't be a violin anyway. He'd be more like a cello. Boom, 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 boom. Very classic and just very classy. But it really depends on what you prefer. 9 times out of the 10, 6 out of the 8, 9 poses that I do prefer that classical cello. But here in the most muscular, I am leaning towards the jug, jug, jug of the Arnold Classic version. Well, here's another most muscular pose. And much like all of the other comparison shots, these are just 2 fantastic versions of Jay Cutler. Every pose is good. And I really have to say, this one, you would really need to have these 2 gentlemen right in front of you, which would be impossible first off. You'd need the same lighting and everything. I think it's that close to be able to pick apart which one is the better one. But I have to go with one. I'm not going to leave you guys with an inconclusive. So if I have to choose, 2001 Mr. Olympia gets the Duke. But I am not firm on that whatsoever. These are 2 of the best versions of Jay Cutler. I think probably the 2 best. But at the end of the day, I have to go with the 2001 Jay Cutler as being the best ever version of this champion. So I hope you enjoyed this and look forward to the next video. And of course, have a good day.